Hello, all of you beautiful humans. Welcome to Menopause and Madness. I am your host, April Rain. Welcome or welcome back. Thank you all so much for being here. I want to do a quick little disclaimer and say that this is not a Temu video. This is a me just talking, me kind of, I don't know if you want to call it venting or explaining a little bit about what has been going on with me and Lonnie and Bodhi these past few weeks, and maybe just trying to get some stuff off my chest so that way I can feel better myself. If I get it. If you're not interested in that kind of thing, then yeah, just this probably isn't going to be a video for you. Some of you may know that we live in a shared living situation. And when Lonnie and I first moved in 2 years ago, it was just us and the landlord, and it was spoken that it was going to just stay that way. The house was, it was like when we were described rustic, and that he was going to be fixing it up, slowly doing projects, that kind of thing. And that was another reason that he wanted to take on. Well, he had been having tenants for years, but this was kind of the explanation we had received from this woman that we respect very, very much, and is just an amazing human being, altogether. We had been vetted, we had came and, hung out with him and his son, his adult son, and everything was good. Everything was great. For the first year until his son moved out, everything was great. I could still, I was able to use the kitchen to be able to make my candles, to be able to, make my herbal therapies, which is very important to me. And after his son moved out, things just started changing. He started becoming more mean and yelly, if that makes any kind of sense. And then he started talking about wanting to bring in more tenants. And with the wiring that we were well aware of, the wiring is not good. It needs to be updated. This house was built in 1934, and the only thing that has been updated is the power. Like, the electrical was updated in the 80s, and nothing since. And there's a gas thing that's like a water heater that was updated, in the last years, but that is it. And it needs a new roof. All this stuff is really crazy. Okay. And one reason that Lonnie and I had to be in this kind of situation is because there is nowhere to rent. There's nowhere to rent. And I think a lot of you already know that there is a housing shortage. It has become huge. It is causing so many families to become homeless. And it is just, our homeless population is not only the mentally ill and the addicted. Even though that is a huge amount, it is not only that. We have seen families that are living out in the forest in their cars, families with little ones, living out in their cars in the forest, just scared to death. They're scared to death of all the other homeless people. They're scared to death. They don't know what to do. And they're not getting any help. People keep talking about, oh, come to, Washington, come to Olympia. They help you. They give you free stuff. I don't know what kind of free stuff people are talking about. I mean, so anyways, I'm getting off point, which I have a tendency to do a lot. So things just started getting, really weird and very tense. He started flying off, he literally went off Lonnie and started yelling at him one day when Lonnie was trying to have a conversation with him. And then, it just, Lonnie and I were like, what's happening? Something about Lonnie and I is that, yes, our bills are always paid on time. Our rent is paid on time in full every month. Our bills, our portion of the power and the water and the utilities, all that stuff is paid on time every month in full. And we are not loud. We don't party. We don't use illegal drugs. We don't, we're not that. I mean, we're kind of old now, so we're boring. You know what I mean? Not that being polite and all that is boring, but that's just not something that we prefer to sit and hang out, watch movies. We are big movie buffs. Some of you may already know that. Anyways, I mean, he has started, the last year has just been kind of hell, to the point where yeah, I don't even want to be around him, and I'm not around him. I don't go downstairs around him. Lonnie, the anxiety, he creates a lot of anxiety. We never know when he's going to fly off, when he's going to do this. Well, a few days ago, some of you may heard that like a couple of weeks ago, I don't even remember how long it was. He came up in the middle of the night, 3 o'clock in the morning, freaking out. Right now, the thing about this is we have all this stuff on video. We record it. There's no chance anymore because we just it's such a huge long story with it's so there's so many layers and but just a couple days ago he came back up again at 3 o'clock in the morning beating on the door. Lonnie has to get up at 6 o'clock to go to work, so how much, if how much of a bummer it is to wake up before you have to wake up and then deal with this. So we had next to our door, outside of our door, there's a little alcove, and we are usually constantly I'm having to pack stuff up. Set it outside the door. Lonnie takes it to storage. Well, he comes up at 3 o'clock in the morning and he starts freaking out, yelling about this stuff being a hazard, which it's not. 100% not a hazard. It's not in anyone's way. It's not protecting any kind of anything, right? And there's lots of other little things that go on, messages that I have to deal with, the other people, because he has gone, and we're in a 4-bedroom home, and we had all agreed not to have other people come in, right? Well, this man is, for one, he has epilepsy, okay, but that doesn't affect his, besides, yes, he has seizures, but that doesn't affect his, you know, his day-to-day life. He's still fully functional and all that kind of stuff. But I don't know, he has these tantrums and he's just really, really cruel. He's very cruel, very mean. He says really crazy things, mean things, and he has gone, and we had decided not to have any other tenants come in the house because of I can't think of the word, the pressure or the weight, the whatever on the power. Because you can't turn he can't turn his microwave on downstairs without it making our light flicker. We've heard zzz when we've turned our light off or on, zzz, like the electrical zzz, like fire, right? And we've told this to him, the roof leaks. He's known the roof has leaked. He actually Lonnie had helped with another man that was a roofer, put a roofing tarp on top of the house, which the house is like a really slanted kind of roof, in parts, where windows are and stuff like that. So it was just really kind of dangerous. Okay. And, so Lonnie helped him with that, and he was supposed to, um, have his roof repaired or whatever. And he has not done that. And in the bathroom upstairs, there is I know I'm just kind of all over the place, and I'm sorry because there's so much and just so much. My biggest problem is that it has caused me and Lonnie so much anxiety and so much depression. We don't want to come out of our room. We don't want to be in any other part of the house, which he kind of is a bully that way. But getting back to, for some reason, he started hanging out. He used to hang out at like really what I kind of cool places downtown, artisty places, cafes, stuff like that. Well, he started hanging out at the Mission. And for whatever reason, I have no idea. He has plenty of food. It's not like that. Like he doesn't have food or anything. And then he goes and he doesn't even talk to us, because before he used to talk to us and, we would have conversations. And he just is like, the room right next to yours, he's moving in today. And he tells us, he's like, he was homeless and met him at the mission. And, you know, so then he moved him in. And it's been a whole slew of problems because he just has no idea what he's gotten into. Then with him came along two other women that have now, I guess, renting his son's old room. And all these people are upstairs with us, and we don't care about them. We don't care as long as they leave us alone. We don't care, but there's all these other situations because Lonnie and I, we when it comes to now, this is where I kind of feel like maybe I'm being selfish, but I don't think I am. We spend money on products. I spend money on specific hair products, face products, skin products, bathroom products, toiletries, that kind of thing. And when people come in and then just think everything's a free for all, like what? And then there is no boundaries for anybody. And so what we're dealing with is that another one of the persons that the first person is become, like, I don't know, like his sidekick or something, but we have found out that, like, he speaks really bad about us. He's talking stuff to our landlord that is not true, and which is causing him to believe everything he says. And it's just like this whole crazy nightmare, this nightmare. And there is, you know, we're stuck in this situation because there is nowhere to rent. There is nowhere to rent. I mean, unless we have $7,000 to put down, and when it comes to that, it still doesn't matter because if someone else has better credit, then the landlord goes for that person. And our credit is not super bad, but it is not super good. After some things we've been through, it's just not, and it's not far from being where it should be to be able to rent a place. But that's where it's gotten. At one point here, people were auctioning. Like, landlords were letting people do, like, auctioning, like, to rent a place. I mean, you even have what used to be considered, super ghetto trailers and things like that are going for $1,800 a month. Like, what are you thinking? And people don't have a choice. But then people like me and Lonnie who can't spend $1,800, 15 would be the total max that me and him could spend, right now on a rental, right? And you're just not finding it. You can't. I mean, there is lists, for apartments, because at this point we'd be willing to take anything. Anyways, let me get back to the other night, okay? Sorry. And if you have questions, please, if you have questions, I'm open book. I will answer any question honestly and thoroughly, I hope. But I was also wanting to know what some of you would do if you were in my situation. Not what you think I should do, but what some of you would do if, you know, heaven forbid, you were in this kind of situation. Now, we've been in roommate situations before and it's been totally fine. I mean, sometimes that's how you get the nicer house, the nicer neighborhood, and when you have people that are compatible, or just, Lonnie and I look at it like this. When you're in a roommate situation with someone that you don't really know, it is a business situation. We're not trying to become best friends. We're not trying to spend all of our extra time hanging out with you and doing that kind of thing. Lonnie and I are pretty private, and we do love our friends, but we love our isolation, I guess, if you want to use that word. That seems to, have a little bit of a stigma to it, but it's just that's how we are. We don't, we're just not like that. And so, getting back to the other night, he comes up, beating on the door at 3 o'clock in the morning, knowing that Lonnie has to work, and starts complaining about these boxes being a safety problem, right? And this is on camera. This is on camera telling me that this is unsafety. And he starts grabbing them and starts throwing them outside in the rain. He literally starts grabbing our boxes that have, like, breakable stuff and, you know, our things, our new things and other things, and takes them downstairs. And he waves at the camera as he's doing it. And, he's grabbing our stuff. So Lonnie gets up, gets dressed. He's got his phone rolling too, so that, and he goes downstairs and starts grabbing all of this stuff, telling him, you can't do this. You can't do this. And I'm not a violent person, but I have a tendency to be a hothead, and I have a mouth. Don't get me wrong. I, can back up things I say, all right? But I have a tendency to have a mouth, and oh gosh, I am not putting these videos on YouTube, but you hear me and I'm like, you can't effing do this. This is against the law, which I found out that because it's in a more of a communal spot, it's not against the law for him to move them, but it is to throw them outside to where they'll get damaged. But it's not a criminal offense, it's a civil thing. I would have to take him to court because he threw our boxes and our things outside in the wet rain and water and stuff. And he's literally just smiling, waving at the camera. So Lonnie goes down there. He's bringing our stuff back. He just starts bringing our stuff back. And you hear Lonnie kept his composure like, I don't even know, dude. I don't even know. He was like calm. And I don't know how I feel about putting these videos on, and I don't know, because there's a lot of cussing and everything, and I really don't want to do that because I feel like that it just brings a lot of negativity. But he literally does that. So I'm like, I had to call the cops again, call the cops. So the cops come and they talk to him. But his little friend that's up here had to go and speak to the cops himself. Now this guy don't know us. He doesn't know what we do. He doesn't know anything, but he's out there talking to the cops like he's all up in our business. Like he's lived here the whole time and knows everything, which he doesn't know anything about us except for what this person has, our landlord has told him, which we have found out that our landlord is a pathological liar and very much a narcissist. Very, very much a narcissist. And these are because, at one point he was dating this woman he's from Maine, and that's where she came, and she had to find out the hard way. And like, he followed her back to Maine on a plane like that and was mad that she wouldn't, dude, like he would be here and he would yell at me because she wouldn't pick up her phone. That's what that time is when I stopped hanging out with him, because I used to have coffee with him every morning and we would hang out and stuff and talk, whatever, what's going on in the world. And he started, like, he would yell at me, why is she, and just, I could see the change in him. And because she had a job and she was, a life. And he would literally want to text her and call her every few minutes. It was so crazy. So that's when we started seeing a lot of, our eyes were getting open to how this person is. And he's turned the hot water off on us so that we couldn't have hot water. He has done so many things. He literally told the cops at one point that Lonnie had stole he's got an old B200 truck out there that he doesn't drive. He can't drive because he has epilepsy. And he told the cops that Lonnie stole that one night and went to Seattle. We're like 45 minutes, an hour away from Seattle. And Lonnie had to be to work at 4:00 in the morning. He had to get up at 4:00 in the morning to go to work. And he literally told the cops this story. Now, obviously it wasn't true and it didn't come of anything, but we still had to go through that stress. I was called downstairs. He comes up here knocking on the door. The cops are here, want to talk to you. And I'm like, what the F? What the F? So I go down there and they start telling me, like, you and your husband or whatever were in this truck in Seattle. And I'm like, what are you all talking about? When it was not us, it was him and the girl that he was with at the time. Like, we'd heard him leaving in the middle of the night and everything, and we didn't know what they were doing. We don't pay attention to other people like that. We don't care. As long as people are safe and there's a civil kind of thing going on, we don't care. It's not our business. It's not our business what you're doing. And now we're kind of thinking, because of the new people that have come here, there's drugs involved. The landlord is talking about finding needles in places, which apparently have been found. Spoons are missing. Lonnie and I even told him, even though I don't have to do this, that we would take, a piss drug test and let, the kind you can buy, and let him see the outcome. We don't do drugs. We don't do illegal drugs. And we sure as hell don't do any kind of that nastiness, but we do know who is. We do know what's going on. And so it does create a lot of anxiety. I stay up all night worrying about the house catching up on fire. So sleep has been really evasive to me. And to get down to me, I have some health issues that have really been bearing down hard on me. Some of you may know, but a lot of you may not know that I have a really hard time walking. I walk with a cane. I have a severe degenerative disc disorder, which is the common disc down in my lower back. And I am actually was told after my last MRI just a couple months ago that I should be having like emergency surgery, which is what I had last time in 2011 by the time I went to the doctor and did that. But I can't. I can't have surgery. Where we live, it is up narrow stairs. I wouldn't even be able to recover. I wouldn't be able to go home to recover. And, the hospital releases you a couple days after. And, so there's times when I can't walk at all. There's times when I can't walk at all. I had a severe sciatic flare up in October of not last year, but the year before, 2023. And I didn't walk for like 4 weeks. I mean, Lonnie actually had to help me do things. And that's really, really hard, because I think I'm 50. It's old. But then again, I think I'm 50. I'm only 50, you know? And so I do have problems with my right leg. I have to wear a brace on my knee, and I use a cane, and it has gotten worse. And so that, with everything else, has been really, really hard. And I've had suffered from PTSD for over 25 years, 26 years, I don't know, since I was 19. And that's when I was first diagnosed with it. And it was due to like childhood trauma into young adult trauma. And so I have all of the stuff that comes with that. I have generalized anxiety disorder. I have panic disorder, where for years and years and years and years, I would end up in the hospital at least 2 to 3 times a week. Lonnie would race to the hospital because I thought I was having a heart attack, and I get panic attacks to the point where I'm hyperventilating so bad, there's no oxygen getting to my muscles, so my hands will claw up and I'll start vomiting. And it's just insane. And I've come to a place up until recently of actually being able to control my panic attacks with breathing and, bringing myself back down without, if I'm alone. Lonnie is really amazing about helping with that also. But I spent a lot of years in that traumatic, that instantaneous panic that I know a lot of you can relate to and understand. And I had it pretty much under control until recently. And it's like happening all over again. And things that he's doing is causing the flashbacks and the emotions coming back that I have really tried to learn to cope with for all of these years. So, Lonnie and I, we were really working to try to get out of here, but it's hard when there's really nowhere you can go, and so we just try to make the best out of it. We try to, conflict resolution, which we've done that a few times. We've just let him walk all over us for months and months and months, telling us what to do, how to be. And it's just at that point where, I'm a grown ass woman. Lonnie's a grown ass man. Okay. I have things I need to do. I've had to stop making candles and doing that type of thing because because of this, because of the situation, because of him not wanting our things in the kitchen. And, it's just insane. And he holds over our head eviction. The thing about that is that I'm very educated in tenants' rights. And also, I mean, he's on disability and he has renters. He has for years. He's making bank off all of these renters and he's on disability. So some of you might catch the some of you might catch the drift I'm blowing towards you. Uh yeah. So and I am not a vindictive person, but I'm going to do what it takes to make sure my family is safe. You know what I'm saying? There is no way that we are going to end up homeless. Lonnie's doing his job. He works his ass off at a very labor intensive job. All of his jobs, that's his thing. That's his thing. And, very labor intensive, gets dirty. Yep. He's over there going like this because he knows he's the man, and he's doing his job. And I am trying so hard to build this channel and everything so I can help contribute, especially right now that I'm not able to contribute with my candle business and my herbalism and things like that. My herbalism didn't contribute a lot at all because I give a lot of that away for free because I believe that everybody should have access to good clean stuff like that. But my candle business, and I can't do that right now. So I'm really trying to work at this channel. I do have another channel and I have been neglecting it like crazy. And I'm sorry for those of you that, really loved that. I am going to get back to it. I'm just trying to get back on a routine. I'm trying to get myself back to, on a balanced level a little bit. And that's a big reason why I don't make videos when I'm feeling like this, because I can't, I can't pretend to be like super happy and super positive when I don't want to be positive, when I'm not happy, when I'm just angry and rageful and crying 24/7. And that's where it got for the longest time in the last couple of weeks. It's me just crying, crying, crying. Bodhi has been having some behaviors and he's not been feeling well. And so that has me and Lonnie both stressed AF. Okay. And so I'm sorry. I promised myself I wasn't going to get super emotional. I hate it when I cry on camera. I don't, and I don't want to be messing up this makeup. You know what I'm saying? Um, Thank you, baby. So I just wanted to let people know, a little bit about what's going on. The cops, when they came this last time, they told us that, since it is in a community area that but he can't be ruining our stuff. And it's like, we get it because for one, we're not cop callers. We don't want to be like that, but we also want to be safe. We want our stuff to be safe, and then going from having to live where someone's telling you once a week, holding eviction over your head, holding eviction over your head, telling us. And I've got because I quit communicating face to face with him a long time ago because he would yell at me and he would be really gross, disgusting, vulgar. I mean, he would get up to Lonnie and say really vulgar things about women to Lonnie, and Lonnie would just be freaking disgusted, like, and he would tell me about it. And Lonnie's not that type of guy. He doesn't talk about women like that, not even. And I could never even imagine hearing words like what this man has said come out of Lonnie's mouth. I know boys will talk and blah, 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 but this is just disgusting. And I really believe that this guy is evil. Like, he is evil to the core. He's narcissistic to the core. And he believes he controls people. He believes he controls everything that goes on in this house, what we do. And it's just, that's where we're at. And now we have this other person that is involved in all this just nasty, gross bull stuff, trying to put trying to be part of into our business, and that has us pretty stressed out and pissed off, really, because people just don't know how to mind their own fucking business. Oops, I'm sorry. Hopefully you didn't hear that. People just don't know how to mind. I'm so sorry. Oops, it slipped out. I'm trying. I won't let it. I'll try not to let that happen again. But yeah. So I know it's all a mess. If you have questions, please, please, please feel free to ask me anything. If you're not comfortable, you can email me and I will be totally open and honest. And one thing I do ask is that please do not, I know you're only trying to be helpful, but I have gone through every type of program. 211 is a thing that actually doesn't even really work for anyone nowadays here where we are, because funding is all gone. And when it comes to some of these programs, most of these programs, pretty much all of these programs, Lonnie, we make too much money by mere dollars. By mere dollars, we make too much money for their program. So we're not qualified in that way. And because believe me, I have scoured everywhere trying to find help where maybe we could get help into, uh, you know, moving into somewhere else or that type of thing. And the one thing that I am going to try to do that I haven't tried yet is to go and get on the Section 8, because I never thought that it'd be worth it, because you have to wait years for that. But I'm going to go ahead and see if we can sign up for it, see if we can be even eligible for it. And so I just asked that kind of those kind of programs, Salvation Army, Community Action. I mean, I used to actually work for Community Action, not here, but down in Idaho, and actually putting my community college, education to work. And I couldn't do it because you can't sit there and have a family come in, and they bring all their children, and their children are hungry, and and tell them that because they make $2 over the government's cap, that we can't help you. And that was happening more and more and more. And so I couldn't work in that field anymore, and I actually went back to bartending, which I made more money doing that anyways, and it was a lot more fun. But I tried that whole working in that kind of situation, and I just couldn't, because, and then I can't talk about government because then I'll go into a whole bunch of probably things that shouldn't even be said on my channel. So please know that we have been, I have searched high and low for other options, and we're just stuck. We're just stuck, you know, and we're going to continue being strong. Don't get me wrong. We're going to continue being strong and working hard and doing what we need to do to make sure that we can, we're hoping by spring that maybe, we're keeping a hope, and we visualize it, we are manifesting it, we are really, we're really trying to make this happen. And now, we've got our car, that car situation is dealt with, and it's all good. Lonnie is doing good at his job. His superiors are very happy with him. He's learning amazing things, and I'm so excited for him. And, I'm working on this channel, trying to do what I can with what I have, and trying to learn more. And we're going to do this. We're going to do this, and we're going to stay positive, and we're going to make this happen. And I want you all to know, too, how much you really help in keeping us positive. I read your comments. I read them to Lonnie, emails. I believe there's a lot of you out there that can relate to me and Lonnie. And I love you. I love you all. And I believe that's, if I can make a difference with this channel, then I've done my thing. You know what I mean? I am so happy to know that there are some people out there that send me emails telling me how much I make their day. Do you know how much that makes my day? Because you don't even know. Like telling me, messed up, hot mess, April Rain made your day. You telling me that makes my day. You know, it fills my heart with love and lets me know that, girl, stay strong. You know, there's people out there that feel you, that relate to you, that, you know, that are down, and I love you all so much for it. I'm not going to keep going on. Just know that we're working hard to get out of this situation, but please, please, please bear with me if, you know, there's moments when I can't be here, and I'm really going to work hard to not do that again. And I'm really sorry for being gone so long, but those of you that can relate to me can relate. You just, when you can't, you can't. When you can't, you know. And so things are going to get better. Things are going to be better. This channel is going to get better. I'm going to be better. And I'm excited. I'm so excited. There's so much content, you know, coming up. We're still doing the wheel, of course. I'm so excited. And if you checked out the last video, Lonnie did spin the wheel, and Teresa Townsend did win the $25 gift card. That still leaves, I think we're at 10 prizes on the wheel, and still all the moissanite, all the palettes, all the necklaces. Oh my goodness, just, you know, still a lot of really great things. So please stay tuned. Thank you so much for being with me. Please thumbs up if you are liking this content, and please subscribe. Thank you so much. Thank you from me. Thank you from Lonnie and from Bodhi. Thank you so much for being here with me and being here for me. I just can't express how much y'all mean to me. And I love you so much from the bottom of my heart. Thank you for listening to me. Thank you so much. And until next video, please, please, please remember to be kind humans.